Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Wednesdays with Wheels. It's your favorite friend on Wednesdays here. Let me move the microphone just a little bit closer so I make sure people can hear me okay. It's your favorite friend on Wednesdays, Wheels, Maxwell. Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. Listen, before we get started with the podcast and my next guest, I want to tell you about the sponsor of this podcast, which is Falenga's Gourmet Cotton Candy. Let me tell you, this takes cotton candy to a whole new level, ladies and gentlemen. We're not just talking cherry and blueberry. No, we're talking flavors like banana, pickle, fireball, cheesecake, all kinds of flavors. And the best part is it's gluten-free. It's all natural. So if you got kids that have allergies, you don't have to worry about it because they're not putting anything bad in their systems. So listen, contact my friend Jennifer over at 585-415-1817. Tell her Wheels sent you from Wednesdays with Wheels. You won't regret it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. I am extremely excited about this podcast. I have my good friend, you've heard her on the Brother Weeze show, healer Jen Ward. Jen, how are you, my friend?
Hi, Wheels. How are you?
Good to see you. How have things been?
Really good. It's really good. It's nice that everyone's like closed in their house like I am all the time. So everyone's in lockdown like I usually am. So it's great.
Yeah,
Good
well,
company.
it's interesting that you say it's great because it's driving me nuts.
I'm sorry about that.
I'm a social butterfly,
I
so
know you.
for the last year I've been I haven't left the house very much myself, so I can't wait to get back out there. In fact, I have my first vaccine scheduled for like a week and a half from now, so I'm excited.
Oh, congratulations. That's
But
good.
before we get into everything that you do, we were talking before we went live about your thoughts on COVID, and I want you to tell people your thoughts on COVID and how you think it's actually done some good for the world because it's changed people's perspective a little bit.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think people needed something to like push them out of their apathy. And it's like, usually when you talk to people, you just like blew them off, like it didn't matter. But now everyone's so desperate to talk to people, they're really appreciating each other a little bit more. They're appreciating how wonderful their life was before this happened, and there's something for them to get back to and even be better than. It's life isn't about being all comfortable and getting what you want all the time. It's about learning.
So really, I think what you're getting at is it slowed us down as a society and let us take in some of the simpler things in life.
Yeah, it slowed us down physically, but it kind of like stimulated us in other ways.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Look, I started this podcast because of COVID, and so that's a good thing to come out of COVID, and so
And and if that's nothing came out of COVID except getting you into humanity's thought streams, then man, it was worth it, right?
I mean,
Wheels.
there you go, there you go. So, Jen, I want to talk to you now about your ability and what you do. You have a what would you call your? Is it a group? It's a group genuine
No, there's
healing.
no group. Mine is the antithesis of group because every group that you have, well, as far any group I've ever been in has kind of diminished me or demoralized me in some way or another, um, either directly or indirectly. So there is no group, there is no personality, there is nothing. All there is a set of self-help techniques that can help people take their power back from all these groups that.
Okay, and the reason I said group, I think, is self help techniques. Uh,
Well, they don't that they benefit from them and they use them, but then they turn around and they they give them out to their clients and their people. So it's not like they're pulling everyone back to Jen and say Jen does this. No, they're using them to help people in their own lives.
Right. So let's start from. I wanted you when you and I were talking yesterday because we
Mm-hmm.
had a lengthy conversation yesterday. I
Mm-hmm.
want one of the things when you were on Brother Weeze that I was very intrigued by, and it all leads back to what you're doing now in your life,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is some of the traumatic experiences you had growing up, and then once you were an adult, that have led you to be more in tune with energy, right? So let's talk about some of those experiences. Start with
What a waste of time, Wheels.
well,
Everybody's
I don't really think it's a waste of time though, Jen, because it leads us right. If we're telling a story,
Mhm.
that's where the story begins. The story begins where you're how you became in tune with your abilities.
Fair enough, but I just, I think if we sit here and talk about, oh, poor Jen, she went through this, it's invalidating every single other person on the planet because everybody else has a story. So who the hell am I to like be more important than poor Jen?
Well, I don't want to do poor Jen. That's not my goal. My goal
Mhm.
is just to like when we had you on the Brother We show and you sort of went into it a little bit. Everybody has it. My goal in this podcast, whenever I interview anybody, is to tell people's story, right? And
Mhm.
my goal in this podcast was to tell people's story that everybody might not know.
So
And
that's pretty cool.
that is part of your story. So we don't have to talk about it a lot, but you did deal with some trauma as a child that you told me yesterday led you to be more in tune with energy and helping other people. Am I right?
Well, it's not that I. Okay, so it's not that I dealt with some trauma. It's
Okay.
like the whole experience of existing has been trauma. So it's not like some experiences, it's just the whole thing. It's like the miracle, the healing for myself is surviving to this point through the abuse, the alcoholism, the mother trying to abort me, the drunk driver trying, take being taken out in the jaws of life, the physical abuse, the emotional abuse, being starved and tortured by a psychopath for a year, thinking I was a retarded boy, coming back and not knowing who I am. all that, all that is just, it just levels the playing field for me to like be so compassionate with anyone who comes to me. I get it.
Right. I know you're reluctant to talk about it, and I don't want to talk about anything you don't want to talk about. That's not my goal.
All right.
But but it's interesting to me though. I guess my next question is, without getting into too much detail of something that you don't seem to want to talk about, is it was there ever any time where you're like, this is too much for me to handle? Like how do you still have a positive outlook to be able to uh help other people and take their energy and place it in different ways?
Okay, so I'll give you the juicy story that you want.
Okay.
So when I'm the youngest of 10 in a Catholic family and everything, and my mother's biggest nightmare was giving birth. So she gets pregnant with me and she doesn't want me. It's evident she doesn't want me. And the whole time I'm trying to gestate in this, perfect little body and stuff, she's trying to figure out how to get rid of me. And she's figuring out how to fall downstairs. She does. I don't think she used a hanger on me because it didn't work. It didn't work for other people and stuff. But she tried to pickle me out. She was drunk the whole time.
Right.
So that kind of resistance, I'm just trying to mind my own business and get formed and get created. And she's trying to destroy me. So there's this negative intention being introduced to me.
Right.
So now when I'm different in the world and I'm like going and minding my own business, trying to give love and everything to the world, and people are don't like me and they're probably having these like strong reactions to me.
Uh-huh.
I don't notice them because it feels just like mother's love to me in a way.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, there's no, it's it's just natural for me to not be accepted and valued. So it's just
So
it
how do
creates a
you,
strength.
yeah, and so then my next question is, and thank you for sharing that, but because I think it gives people a perspective of where you've come from. So my next question to you would be, how do you, like, if I know with some of the things that I've been through in my life with my disability, right? There
Mm-hmm.
are times that I just say, enough is enough. Like, I can't handle anymore, right? So
Yeah.
how do you, because you've got, I know for a fact that you've got people that, like, when you're on the Brother Weeze show, we have people that call in from South Africa
Yeah.
to talk to you on the Brother Weeze show. So how do you uh, help other people with all the things that you've been through in your life? How are you able to do that?
So what's really cool is like anything, like I remember those times. I remember those times when I wanted to die. I remember those times when I just thought it would be easier to give up. And on the property there was a mass grave that he had dug. And it was like he said, "This is where I'm going to bury your body when you die. So get used to it." So I was like so over it, I was ready to die. And those were the times in my life that inspiration, you call it angels, I call it spirit guides, came in and showed me that no, there's a higher purpose than you. You're going to survive this. What they did on the property is I got a sense he took my dog from me and he wouldn't let me love my dog. So but then they showed me in a dream that I had a dog in the future. And so that gave me the hope I needed to survive. So that loneliness, that pit of despair, I know it so well. I can go there in energy to that pit of despair where others are, and I can meet them there. And I can show them or encourage them in that moment that no, it gets better than this. Just hold on.
Now, I just want to step back for the people that are listening, because
Mm-hmm.
I think you went into another story when you were held captive, right, for a little
Mm-hmm.
while. That's what you were talking about there. I just want people to be clear
Yeah.
that happened later on in your life. Uh, so Jen, now I want to talk about, because people hear genuine healing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you and I talked about this yesterday,
Yeah.
and I was very upfront with you and said, Jen, I love you, think you're a great person. I am a little skeptical of the whole thing, right? I'm a
Right.
believer that if it helps other people, if other
Right.
people are getting something from it, then it's a good thing,
Right.
right? But I think you have to come to it with an open mind. Am I right in that?
Well, the thing is, I think I keep calling you Wheeze.
That's okay.
Wheels
I
and Wheeze,
hope
they're
to
just so close.
listen someday. I hope to be like Brother Weeze
You
and
already
and
are like him. So, so there's a little bit of arrogance in the way you think because you're thinking healing means perfection, and it doesn't. It's like you're thinking that there's a be all end all pinnacle concept of what's perfect out there that people that healing is about, and that's not the case. So people come into this life with a set of circumstances that helps them with their purpose. Like we talked about your purpose, you're touching so many people as you are. You're aligned in your purpose. There's nothing to heal with that.
right.
So it's other people who aren't aligned with their purpose, who are stuck into taking and self pity and all that stuff. You know,
Right.
healing happens on an energetic level and it filters down to the physical. But there's people that are so caught up in themselves that they can't help other people. And the whole life experience is about giving, not receiving. Like, because we talked about even a smile is healing because when you smile at someone, they smile back, you're changing their brain chemistry. That's a form of
Okay.
healing. So we're all healers. What's the difference?
Yeah, I guess my point was, when people hear healing, right? They think,
Mhm.
well, Wheels is in a wheelchair. Can you make him walk? You know.
Why would I
And
want to make you walk? You're
well,
perfect.
look, I was just going to say that there are times that I wish I could walk, right?
I'd
And
like to be a size 2. And
right,
so if I can't heal myself and be a size 2, why should I be able to make you
right,
walk, you know?
right. So healing is more of a am I right in saying that the type of healing that we're talking about is more of a state of mind?
Um, I like to think of from the heart, it's a state of heart.
State
It's
of heart.
yeah, so it's like not even considering talking to me because oh the word healing when you don't even know what healing means to me, what you don't know my heart behind it, you don't know the pain and all the inner anguish that went through, so I would be brave enough to call myself genuine healing.
Right.
So there's a lot to it. So if someone just shuts down and says, oh, calls herself a healer, she's nothing there for me to see. It's not that at all.
Right. So let's talk about, because I know you do a lot of seminars and you
Mm-hmm.
do private sessions with people. So take me through, Jen, what a seminar looks like, or what a private session looks like.
Well, actually,
Because let me also preface this by saying I've gotten to see you do some of your work firsthand when you were on the radio,
mhm.
and it can be a little it can take you back a little bit because of some of the vulgarity that you might use during and
Vulgarity? How
well
dare you, sir?
well
How
no
dare you?
no wait a minute, when you were on the radio you said to us, sometimes when I'm dealing with people's energy I swear.
Well, it's a vibration. So if I say, oh, please get better. Oh, I love you. That's not going to get through if you like shock them with, you mother effer, and
By
then
the
it
way, you can
breaks.
swear here, Jen, it's okay.
I know, but now that you've categorized me as vulgar, I don't
No,
know if I
I'm.
want to.
It was just a word, Jen. I didn't mean it in a bad way. I
Mm-hmm.
just meant that sometimes the energy, the energy leads you to do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Um, yeah, so usually when I swear it's because the person does swear and that's their own language. So
Okay.
I don't feel the need to like cuss at you right now, Wheels.
Oh, I hope not, because I think I have a pretty genuine soul, and I'm not too angry. There
Well,
are
I wouldn't
times.
be here if you didn't. And is that genuine with a J or genuine with a G?
I don't know. You tell me.
It's a G.
It's a G. But take me through like a seminar or like a private reading.
Okay, well, the a retreat, I call them retreats, but they're pretty fun because by the way, I don't need to have to take you through the private sessions. I write on my YouTube page, Genuine Healing YouTube page. You can watch what happens to people in one session.
Right, but for the people that aren't going to take the time to
Well,
watch,
why would
just
I want to tell them if they're not even going to bother going and looking at my page? Why should
because
I? What?
Jen,
What?
this is a podcast and we have to fill an hour with you telling me about how things
Oh,
work.
okay. All right. All right. I'll play your game. So a retreat is like people coming in and they have all their like stuff, all their baggage from traveling and everything. So I come in there and I read them, cold call read them and stuff. And it's no different than you read people. You know when someone's angry, you know when someone's likable, you know something. So I
Right.
read them and I read their energy and I can take it a little bit further. And I can tell them stuff about themselves that they don't even know. And so we go around the room and I just like wake them up energetically. So
Hmm.
they know to pay attention here. And then the whole weekend is taking them deeper into personal issues. and doing it on such a primal level, like things that wouldn't come up in your lifetime right now. Um, in one,
Oh,
what?
no, we're good. We're good. Your internet froze there for a second, but you're good now.
I can read you, Katie, but not really well right now because I'm just distracted with wheels. But I want to be. I want
Listen,
to.
let me ask you a question. And I didn't ask you that, so I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
And if you don't want to do it, we don't have to. But if you wanted to do that, you could do that.
I can do that.
Do you
You
want
want
to
me to?
read? Do you want to read, Katie?
Um, uh, I'm doing. So when I read someone, it's not like just, oh, go in there. I'm removing some of the frustration that she has. She has and it doesn't interpret as accurate because it goes so deep, but she has a little bit of she hides in energy. She doesn't show herself. She doesn't know how pretty she is. Oh, you're welcome. She doesn't know how pretty she is. She's self-conscious. I think people in her family have put her down a little bit. Not in a maybe not in a real abusive way, but in a subtle way. And it's just and she might not even recognize it and stuff. So she needs to get away from she needs to find people who see her true value. And I'm not sure she really has a lot of those people in your life. Do you, Katie?
Maybe Katie, I'll type in the chat here. It might take a minute, but
All right. Well, the thing is, if she can find a couple friends that can really support her without the pettiness and everything, she's going along with others right now, and she's not being supported. She needs to get supported. Katie, I see how special you are. People haven't. We don't know what yes, I do means.
yeah, we don't.
Is it?
I don't. Let's see. She
Yes,
said,
yeah, you need to hang with them more because I see how special you are, and nobody around you is scratching the surface to know how special you are yet. But it's coming, Katie, and just hang in there. Don't allow those. You know how you get bored, and the boredom and depression go together, and it's just you want to do something special, and it's not happening right now.
"Yeah,
Oh, good. You okay? Good. So she has good feelings.
I just want to, for the people that are going to be listening to the podcast, I just want to say, Katie has wrote in the chat that I do have friends, and then so she's agreeing, but maybe she needs to surround herself with some of those people a little more often.
Um. Oh, yeah. She has friends, but she gives more than she receives. How's that? So
Right.
she needs to like allow people to give to her. And when she
So
has a couple of friends that'll do that, it'll help her upgrade a little bit.
yeah, well, Katie, I hope that helps you. And Jen, thank you for doing that. That was not planned, but I think it's a good way to show people how the process works.
Well, you know how hard it is to come on a public platform and ask for something. So she was asking. So who the hell am I to like turn her down? I mean,
Right,
that's pretty arrogant.
right. Yeah.
So of course,
Now, Jen, so let me ask you, that was a very brief reading, right? Or a very brief example of how things work for you. But let's say when you do one of these, what you call them retreats, I believe you said.
yeah.
When you do a retreat, at the end of the retreat, because you're channeling all these people's energies and
I'm not
helping them,
channeling.
you're not channeling's the wrong word.
Yeah, it's like channeling. A lot of people who channel are actually tapping into their own higher consciousness, and they're just afraid to take ownership of it. That's another thing. There's a lot of channelers are dynamic healers, but they don't own it. So
Okay,
sorry about
so
that.
what? So then, because the only reason I said channeling, Jen, to
Hmm.
me, just from a guy on the outside looking in,
Uh-huh.
when you started to talk to Katie about her situation, I started to see you take some deep breaths and do that. So I
So,
thought
yeah.
maybe that's what you were doing.
No, the deep breaths were, so part of what I do is as a shaman, because I'm a shaman, move energy. So energy is supposed to be fluid, always fluid. And so when people are like feeling bad, they're into their problems or whatever, they start to pool energy around them and it gets stagnant. And then that's when disease and stuff comes in.
Right. Yeah.
Can you tell Tom it's not a rerun?
Tom Turner. I don't know what he meant, but I don't even know what he means by that.
He's probably already heard this in energy. And so it sounds familiar. You probably heard it in the dream state or something last night, Tom.
Oh,
Maybe we were chatting, Tom.
Maybe. I don't know. You are actually keeping a better eye on the chat than I.
Do you mind? It's just.
No, that's fine. Usually I get so involved in the conversation that I kind of forget that there's people even commenting, but that's great. Jen, so my question then was, at the end of the weekend, because you're moving all this energy around, right? How physically exhausting is it for you?
It's debilitating. And not because it's literally like moving, like imagine moving the Titanic around, like having the wheel and moving. So there's a lot of energy being moved around that people don't realize, and it's shifting and disconnecting. See, Tom agrees that we did probably talk in the dream state. Oh, I didn't even hear the haters, Hilda.
Oh, I didn't see any hateful comments either. So
yeah. Maybe she's talking about my whole life. The haters.
Oh, yes.
It's called family.
Hilda's a good friend of Deanna King's. Jen, yeah, and a good friend of mine as well. She's a character. So it's very debilitating to you.
Well, so don't. No, it's just exhausting, and so it takes a while to recover. But everybody else, so we'll take a picture at the end. Everybody wants to hug me and thank me, and it's like hugs hurt because it's like so much, and then everybody else is happy, and I'm just like, there's nothing left to give. It's just totally
right.
Yeah.
Right. Now talk to me a little bit about, because I was reading in your bio, and you are you not only are you this dynamic healer, right? But you have written, I believe it's 19 books.
Mm-hmm. Self-help books.
Self-help
None of them
books.
talk about me. They're all about what's in it for the reader.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's all about what's in it for the reader, and you kind of, I haven't read any of the books, but I would assume that you guide them in the right direction to find that self-help, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, but I want to talk a little bit about these, the taps that you do. But can you take me back to the beginning of the origin of the taps, where they actually got started?
So tapping in general is originated by the Aborigines in Australia. Someone was taken out into the outback with some indigenous people, and they noticed that every time that there was an injury or something, if they hurt their arm, they would tap on the arm and then tap on their head. And what they were doing was telling the body to heal right there. It's like the body is always scanning you for where the next injury is, and it does it through your breath. It scans and it heals through your breath. That's why breath is so important. But this tapping, it bypasses the priority, and it says go to this issue first. So, so when I was like in a really bad way, I mean a really bad way, this person helped me, and they used tapping. And so I just used the tapping that they did, and I expounded upon it and made it even more deep. So there's a real cause and effect between like feeling bad. It's like when you feel bad, all you do is like your mind chews on it. Your mind chews on it, and you can't get past it. So how can you get past it? Because affirmations don't work for everybody, because the affirmations, at the same time you're saying affirmations, the ego is saying, that's not true. You're never going to get that. If I said an affirmation, I was a size 4, my ego would laugh at me. You know how many times you tried to be a size 4? You weren't a size 4 when you were 4. So the affirmations don't work. But what happens is if you tap on the brain, you bypass the ego's permission to make that happen. And when you tap, it deactivates the ego and it prevents it from sabotaging that affirmation.
It is true that a lot of times we self-sabotage ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've done that a lot in my own personal life, with relationships and love and things like that, and not feeling good enough. So you're telling me that if I were to do these taps, they could help.
They have helped. They help people all over the world. I don't know why they wouldn't help you.
Right. So how does it, like, what, are there certain taps for certain things?
Well, I do want to help Hilda. Hilda says she's an empath and it's draining her. And so I could give you a tap for the listeners to do to a lot of people have like holes in their aura, and it's like all this energy is bombarding you, Hilda, and you don't have a natural barrier. There's holes in your energy field. So I could give you a tap to like shore that up so people's energy doesn't come rushing into your energy. Want to do that for people?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay, so I'm going to give you, this is how it does in private sessions. I'm going to give you something to say.
Okay.
And if it's dead on for you, you won't be able to say it. You'll trip up. You'll think I'm slurring. You'll think it's another language or whatever.
Okay.
Make up all these excuses, and you sound so stupid saying like 4 words, but that's normal.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to repair the energy field. It's called the Wei Qi. It's the skin on the energy field. It's like skin on the pudding. You know that skin on the old-fashioned pudding?
I'm gonna take your word on it. I don't.
Okay. I mean, in the old days, when
I've had gelatin pudding, so I don't know.
And let me educate you about pudding. In the old days, when you could put it on the stove and you put it in the fridge, there was a rubbery skin over it.
Oh, okay.
It was really chewy, but you'd have to break through that to get to the softer pudding.
Okay.
So you should have this barrier on your energy field as well. Okay?
Okay.
So say this statement 3 times while tapping on your head, 4th time tapping on your chest, and a 5th time tapping on your abdomen. Okay?
I'm doing this with you?
We're doing it for everybody. Hilda's doing it.
Oh.
You guys said you want me to, because you're on as
well, hold on. The only problem we're having right now, Jen, is your internet is breaking up, so it's hard to hear you.
Because of the energy work. The energy work interferes with it. It's at a different frequency.
Oh, it's because of I didn't. Okay. I mean, that would make some sort of sense.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to try to do this the best we can then, but if it interferes too much, we're going to have to stop, because it's not, if nobody can hear you, it's not going to be good.
All right.
Okay. So we'll go as long as we can, but if we have to stop, we just have to stop because of technology.
Gotcha.
All right.
You don't want to
go ahead. Do your thing.
Humanity. We repair and fortify our Wei Qi in our moments. Wait, what?
Am I touching while I'm saying this?
Well, you have to touch to tap.
Okay.
Did you get it? You interrupted me.
No, go ahead. I just want to make sure I got it right. I want to do it right.
I know, but nobody else heard it now.
Okay, go ahead.
We repair and fortify our Wei Qi in all moments.
We repair and
fortify.
What?
We repair and fortify.
We repair and fortify
our Wei Qi.
Our Wei Qi
in all moments.
In all moments.
We repair and fortify.
We repair and mortify.
Not mortify, fortify.
Fortify
our Wei Qi.
Our Wei Qi
in all moments.
In all moments.
We repair and fortify.
We repair and fortify
our Wei Qi
our Wei Chi
in all moments.
in all moments.
We repair and fortify
We repair and fortify
our Wei Chi
our Wei Chi
in all moments.
in all moments.
We repair and fortify.
We repair and fortify our Wei Chi in all moments.
Okay, so that's good. Now, I don't know if you feel that, Hilda, but here I want to do one for Tom. This is a tap for Tom Turner, okay?
Okay, let me just reset so that people that are maybe just joining know what we're doing, so they're not like, why are these people just touching their head and their throat? And
Hey,
ladies and gentlemen,
it's sacred. It's sacred, Wheels, just so you know.
I'm here with Jen Ward from Jenuine Healing. I almost said Jenuine, like Brother Weeze does, but it's
Jenuine, yeah.
Healing, and she's showing us what taps are. So go ahead, Jen, continue.
Well, Hilda feels it. Do you feel your energy tingle now, Hilda? Because now you can hold an electric charge. Tom, this tap is for you, and this is for you. And all right, this is more your speed, Wheels.
This is more my speed.
Yep.
Okay.
You ready? 8 words. We remove all the bullshit in all moments.
We remove all the bullshit. We remove all the bullshit.
In all moments.
In all moments. We remove all the bullshit in all moments.
We remove
all the bullshit in all moments. We remove all the bullshit in all moments. We remove all the bullshit in all moments.
Now your belly.
We remove all the bullshit in all moments. We remove all the bullshit in all moments.
That's it. Just once on there. I was afraid you were going to implode after releasing all the bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
There wouldn't be anything left to you.
No, and is it because I don't? So can I be now? Hilda is in the comments saying that she's feeling something.
Yeah, Hilda's tired. She's got to go lay down.
Okay. But my question is, I didn't really personally feel anything. Is that because right now I'm not dealing with a lot of stuff?
No, are you kidding me? You sit next to Wheeze. You deal in bullshit. No.
Oh no. Well, no, that's
no.
stuff.
It's no, not Wheeze's bullshit, but just being in that setting. Sensitive people can't be in that radio setting all the time. I'm not, I adore Wheeze, so I'm not saying he has it.
Right.
So, but no, just that setting of being on air and everything.
Right.
So, so no, you're surrounded by it and everything. Oh, I know what makes you mad.
What makes me mad? I'm interested.
People who patronize you.
That does make me mad.
Yep. Oh, you would hate it.
That does
people who pretend to be sympathetic to you when you know that they're just bullshitting you.
No,
it's not everyone. You know the type.
Maybe. I don't want to say, am I allowed to say some stuff?
Yeah. It's a free country.
I don't know. Well, no, I just don't know how this process works. Mm-hmm. It's not so much when you talk about the being patronizing. It's funny. I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day, and I said to them, my disability doesn't bother me as far as the disability, right? It's the people that know me and love me and follow me on Facebook and social media and my friends in real life who know all the things I've accomplished, right? Yeah. They know that. But it's when I walk into a room of people and they don't know anything about me, but all they see is the wheelchair, and they want to say, they want to feel bad for me right away.
Yes.
Without knowing all the things I've accomplished in my life.
Exactly. They're seeing you as a disability and they're not seeing you as a dynamic being. Because you are dynamic, let's face it.
Right. Yeah. So that's very interesting. That is one area that if I could change people's perspective on that would help me out greatly.
Yeah. So if I was working with you, I would give you taps to like, um, um, it's almost like you're fine. It's like stripping all the illusion of preconceived notions from
I
them.
use that. I use that term all the time.
Yeah. So what you would do is, um, on my website, Jenuine Healing with a J, there's sets of worksheets, and it's like energetic cleanse, peanut butter and jelly cleanse, expunging negativity taps, and positive taps. And so what you would do, it's a worksheet like a Mad Lib page, and you would put people's preconceived notions in every blank and do all those taps.
Okay. Now, can I take a step back because you said a peanut butter and jelly cleanse?
That is my most popular one.
What are we talking about, Jen?
If peanut butter and jelly did not want to be associated with each other through time and space forever, they never wanted to see each other again, this is the tabs they would do. And so you could do this, you could do that set of tabs with persons with disabilities and preconceived notions. And you could actually feel it. And if people love you and they want to do something amazing on your behalf, they could do the peanut butter and jelly cleanse between persons with disabilities in one blank and preconceived notions in the other blank.
Yeah, that's very. I will tell you, Jen. You are making me think differently than when I started this this podcast. And let's talk about that a little bit, because yesterday when you and I were talking, you have a friend, and you said your friend told you, Jen, what you do is not in the mainstream.
I
Right?
thought it was mainstream.
Right. So, and I said to you, no, Jen, what you do is not mainstream, because there's not people out there that take on other people's energy and help move it around and get you. So, how do you deal with the haters and the people that don't believe in what you do?
I call them family and I don't show up. I was born into haters. All my life, I caused these really strong reactions in people. And I don't think I'm a bad person. I never have these bad intentions. So for people to have such strong reactions in me, from me, has to tell me that it's not me. It must be something in themselves.
Right.
So you want a good technique to help dissipate the haters?
Sure.
Oh, this one's a juicy one.
I don't have a lot of them, so I'm not
Of
going.
course you don't. Who could hate
I'm not
you?
going to
That
do
face?
it, but
Nobody could hate that face.
Well, there are a few people. There are a few.
So anyways, if you come across, and I used to get this because I write a lot on Facebook and I put things and people have reactions to them, right?
Right.
So when I get someone who's like really angry at me, I'll say, oh, wow, that's great. Get this hate out. So what I'll do is I'll brace my energy field so it's not coming in my energy. And I let them spew out all this hate. And I visualize as this hate comes out, it's dissipating and turning into divine love. And it's going back and being recycled back into love. So what's happening is hate only works if it's lobbed back to them. They need that them versus us mentality. If you don't give it to them, they just lose their wad of hate, and they eventually just like use it up, and then they're exhausted and go away. Right. So I goad them into telling me more, because I'd rather they direct that hate towards me than people in their lives who they're going to really do damage to, because I've built up some resistance to the hate.
But if it was just a guy like me and I'm dealing with a hater, right? Because I have a couple a couple people on Facebook who will make comments about I'm only on the radio because I'm in a wheelchair and all that kind of stuff. Now, so what you're saying is, for a person like me, I just need to ignore that because they don't get anything out of their hate if I don't respond back to them. Am I getting that right?
that's half of it is not responding, but you can even take that further and help them pull it out. I actually poke a stick at them.
Yeah.
And I would say to that person, it's like, it seems pretty sad that you're jealous of a guy in a wheelchair, because they basically are. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry you're so jealous of me, and I'll poke them, and I'll make them as mad as they can, and but without like giving them hate, but just sympathy and stuff. And it's fun. It's fun to make them that mad and like to be unscathed, and then eventually they'll just go away because they won't have any more fuel left.
Well,
Try it, Wheels. It's so much fun.
I
You'll love
have.
it.
They just never seem to go away. They
No,
just
you've been giving them back a little bit. I see what you've been doing in energy. You bat it back to them. You have to totally disarm yourself and say, "I'm sorry you feel so. I'm sorry you feel so jealous of me."
yeah. Now, can we talk about uh um uh another area that I'd like to talk about with you because it does fascinate me. Um Past lives. And I know that you believe in that, right?
It's not that I believe in it. I see them all the time. I mean, and it's not something that I was taught. I always saw them. I would be in math class and I would open up to a lifetime where I was in the gutters of, I think, Calcutta in India, where I was eating out of a ditch. And you say, how do you know it's a past life? Well, how do you know yesterday was yesterday when you remember it? You just
Right,
remember it.
right.
So that kind of.
So what kind of um here's my question for my friends. Here's a question that my more religious friends would ask, right?
Mhm.
Because I've had conversations with them. They would say, well, there's no such thing as a past life because there's a heaven, right? So when you die and your soul goes to heaven, it doesn't go into a new body, into a new soul, and then lives a new life. What would you say to that?
It's funny because I figured out the whole thing because I was raised Catholic
Okay.
and I learned about past lives from the Bible. When John the Baptist came announcing Jesus was coming, he basically was saying he's the reincarnation of David. I knew this since I was 10. It was right there on the movie of the week. It was in the Bible. And I figured out purgatory when I was 4. When I was 4, maybe not 4, is that purgatory, because it used to be in the Catholic Church and then they took it out. Purgatory is actually coming back to earth, and this is purgatory. So heaven is, and even Jesus said, there's many mansions in my Father's house. And he goes, I know a man who was taken up to the third heaven. So it's like, it's not like you just die and then there's the heaven that people go to usually when they die is the astral plane, which
Mm-hmm.
is which is one level of consciousness, but it's not the be all end all. Then there's like a level above that, which is like a museum, and it's like all your past life memories are stored in the causal plane, which is above that. Above that is the mental plane, where all that you could figure out in inventions and mental things are in the mental plane. And it's the same level of consciousness as the ego. So the ego doesn't want you to get past it. So it does everything to keep you dumb and stupid so that you don't figure out that there are levels of consciousness above the ego.
Okay. That's a lot to take in, but I
I
think
know, I know, but Hilda gets me so
Hilda 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 does seem to well I know Hilda has a she believes in all this stuff and so she might have a more of an experience with it. But
so.
the past life, I just have Jen, you know how funny I am, right? So I have a
Mhm.
can I interject with a funny story real quick?
Sure.
So I was at the mall one time and this guy came up to me and he said, "Do you know why you're in a wheelchair?" And I said, "Well, I think I do. I mean, the doctors told me, but who knows? Maybe they're wrong. Why don't you tell me?" And he said, "You're in a wheelchair because in a past life, you were mean to people in wheelchairs." To which I responded to him, "In a past life, you must have been mean to ugly people because you're pretty fucking ugly."
Did you say that to him?
I did.
You should have said, that's not accurate because they didn't have wheelchairs in the past times.
Well, right. I mean, but there were disabled people, so
Yeah, but that's like, actually, I don't think that's so, for one thing, but that that's just, he's just like reverberating like the law of karma. Like if it happened to you, if it happened, that's too, it's
right.
not like,
I just thought it was a. I was literally sitting there in the food court eating my Chinese food, and he just happened to
yeah.
come up to
So
the table, and I just thought it was funny, to
that
be
should have
quite
been your
honest.
first clue that he was a jerk.
Yeah, well, he was something.
Can I answer Hilda's question? How do they know they've died before?
Sure, go ahead.
So, Hilda, think of the things that you're afraid of. And you're not afraid of them. You think you're afraid of them because you're afraid they're going to happen, but it's not so. Things that you're afraid of because they've already happened. Like people who are afraid of flying fell to their death. People who like have neck issues, they were decapitated or hung in a past lifetime. And that's actually how I work, is like I can tell where people are injured in their body, and I can see that past life trauma. And a lot of people who are like afraid of crowds and stuff, they've been publicly executed. So it's like no wonder they don't want anybody looking at it, because that's, yeah, it's really intense experience to be killed in front of everyone as entertainment.
Now, when do you do past life regressions with people?
I don't regress them because if they wanted to see what happened to them, they would see it. So I see the lifetimes, and it's really traumatic. I see all kinds of tortures and murders and baby rapes and genocide, and it does a number on the psyche. And so what I do is I see them for them, I cry their tears, and I scream their pain, and then I give them taps to like balance them out. So what's happening is I'm validating their body. The reason they're in pain is because their body wants validation from that past lifetime. And I'm doing it for them so they don't have to. And then they do the task, and then their body fixes itself.
Now, what kind of preparation do you have to do before you do something like this? Do you
Nothing.
have do you have to like put yourself into some sort of
Nope.
meditative state or anything like that?
I'm doing it right now
Right.
because I've been doing this so much, and because I came into this world with such low self-esteem from all the abuse and stuff, that I try 1,000% to help someone when they come to me. So I've spent years and years ascribing what I do to the parasympathetic nervous system. Do you know what that
Okay.
means?
No.
You know how when you're a baby, you don't know how to walk? You have to
Sure.
train yourself to walk, and then it's automatic.
Yeah.
So what I do as far as removing stagnant energy, seeing the past lives, repairing the body, all that, I do it in an instant. I've ascribed it to my parasympathetic nervous system, so it's automatic. And to someone else, it may feel like it's a faith healer or whatever. But for me, I've done the work. I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of this.
I, I just wanted to put that up on the screen. If you can see that, Jen, Deanna King writes, I was skeptical, but I can say the taps have actually helped me. So
Thank
there you go.
Deanna. Yeah.
That's from my one of my best friends, Deanna King, who I absolutely love and adore. And
She don't play. She wouldn't say she don't
no,
she don't blow no smoke.
No, she does not blow smoke, my friend. So Jen, tell us. Look, we've only got a few minutes here, and I think we've covered a lot, and it's been very interesting. But tell us how COVID has changed what you have been how you've been able to do things.
Well, I don't know if it has. I don't know if COVID's. I think people are getting more to a state of a reflective state. They're being pinned down in their lives and seeing what in it works and what doesn't work. Like, okay, so what's really cool is all these people who have children, right? They
Mm-hmm.
just have children because it's the thing to do. They're not called to be parents, but they have children and now they're stuck in the house 24/7 with these people that they gave birth to, and it's like not easy. So
Right.
people are seeing is like the cause and effect of your actions and your decisions.
Right. I guess what I meant by that was because you do these retreats and stuff like that, and because we can't gather in big groups, how is
Oh,
that how has that changed what you've done?
oh no, no.
How are you reaching out to people? I guess
So
is
so most of my work is done in and giving it out free. So the
Mhm.
SFT taps, I will never know the people who use those. And and the goal is for everyone on the planet to start using taps for themselves. It's like yoga. Like 10, 15 years ago, yoga was considered so foo-foo. And now everybody accepts yoga. Well, the whole point is that once everyone starts doing tapping to release their own issues, they stop deferring to other people. They take back their empowerment. It can change humanity for the better.
Yeah,
So it's more
absolutely.
about that than making a buck.
And that is one thing, Jen, that I would love to say to you. I commend you for, because there are so many people that are out there trying to make money off of other people. And if 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 there's one way that doesn't make me that makes me more of a believer, right, is
Mm-hmm.
because you're not out there trying to sell people something. You're
Well,
not
I
out.
do. I do have private sessions, and they're pretty expensive, but but um but that just augments all the work I do for humanity. Like I could be helping people and I do help people on the other side of the world who are suffering in concentration camps and other, you know, repressed societies and stuff. So what I'm doing is to elevate the level of quality of life for all of humanity. So I do have private sessions, and they are expensive, and they are freaking awesome. But it's not just for those people. The worksheets, the books, what I do, my personal intention and energy is out there for everybody.
Yeah, and that's really what I was getting at. Obviously, you have to you know uh charge for your time a little bit at some level. So
Oh,
we understand that, but you're not. I mean, look, you read someone tonight, just out of the blue, who asked to be read. You didn't say, "Well, no, yeah, I can't do that. In order for that to be done, you need to go to my website and we need to set up a private session."
no, that's
So that's where I give you kudos, my friend,
thank
because
you.
so many people would have said, for X amount of dollars, and you can get that, but you have to go to my website. So
No, that's
kudos to
ridiculous.
you. I appreciate that. Let me ask you one thing, and I don't know if I should ask this, but I'm going to. And if you want to tell me no, feel free. But since you say that you can see people's past lives, I'm so interested to know what one of mine may have been.
Um, well, you're not prone to show me because of your skepticism,
Okay.
but you are showing me something. You're showing me yourself as an old, very old Chinese man walking with a walking stick. And it's almost like you have this wisdom, this deep wisdom, but nobody listens to you. And it's like a frustration that you might carry with you to this day. It's like, why don't people hear me? I know what I'm saying. I have this insight. I have this wisdom. But you just went about your business, and you were basically abused and laughed at by the younger generations in that day. But yeah, but you carried that
Can,
wisdom from way back then.
can I say to you, uh, it's interesting because I do carry that a little bit with me to this day. Because sometimes people will say to me, "Well, you don't do this, so you wouldn't understand."
Mm.
And I feel like I do have an understanding, and that they don't see that because of what they see on the outside, maybe.
Right. They're not capable because they are operating at a lower, um, say it was a radio station. They're operating at a lower radio station than you. They're on AM, you're on FM or whatever.
Gotcha.
And so they're not capable, but you get that at some level. You're such an old soul. You don't even care. You don't even need your legs. Why do you need legs? You came here to serve humanity. It's no big deal to you on a certain level. I'm not diminishing your journey.
No, I mean, listen, I've often said to people, and I don't even care if we go over a few minutes here because I think this is an important thing. Um, wow, this is me gonna get talk about some. Look, at the end of the day, do I wish in certain aspects of my life that I could walk? Sure, because it would make it a lot easier. I think there would be certain things in my life that maybe I would have accomplished if I wasn't in this situation. But I also look at it from this point of view that if I wasn't in this situation in the wheelchair, maybe I'd be a totally different person and I'd be doing something totally different.
You'd be an
Right?
asshole.
It's so funny you say that because I say that to people all the time that if I wasn't in the wheelchair, I would be the biggest self-centered dick you'd ever want to meet in your entire life.
Oh yeah, I can see that too. And this, I don't know if you read the Bible because these Bible quotes keep coming to me.
It's so funny because listen, I got to be honest with you, Jen. I'm becoming a believer the more we talk.
You want to know what the quote is?
Well, let me just say this. I am a person right now with some of the things that have gone on in my life recently. And nothing was done to me in an abusive way. So, because I feel like I'm talking generally and I don't want people to draw conclusions, but some things recently have been within the last 2 years have been said to me and done to me where it has made me question religion to the point of, because I think to myself, I'm such a good person. Why does this keep happening to me?
Exactly. Because you are more positive than the religion followers. And then it's just like positive and negative. You're so positive, the negative comes clinging to it. So it's like it's not even personal. Even in my case, like when people try to literally beat the shit out of me and destroy me, it's not personal. It's never been personal, but we do that. And all these people who are around the world and feeling like they're invisible are actually holding space for the vibration of love in the world. They're serving humanity in their space. They don't need to be like, have their ego stroked. It's never been about that. Never.
So then, Jen, let me ask you this, and I know we're over the hour, and we'll go in a few minutes, but is it okay then, because you keep saying that I'm actually in line with my purpose, right? Like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing here on this earth.
Right.
Is it okay because sometimes I say to my friends, listen, I went through a really bad breakup 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago. Really bad. That set me back so far and made me question who I am as a person and all of that. That I wrote on Twitter, the adulation of many will never replace the love of one. What I mean by that is all these people that follow me on, and I'm not, it sounds like I'm being self-serving here, but I'm really not. But I have a lot of people that follow me on Facebook. But there is a part of me that wishes I could give that all up just to have that one part of my life that I don't feel like I have. But you're telling me I'm serving my purpose. So is it okay to feel that way?
It's okay to have both wheels and you'll have it again. It's like you know what it feels like. And if it's not that person, yeah, there's another person in your future, of course. And you might have outgrown that experience, and the next person will be more aligned with your higher purpose.
Right. Well, listen, my friend, I have
Do you want to know what the quote was?
sure, what's the quote?
And a couple things I want to address. Hilda said, "God bless you, Jen," and this is my pat answer. God bless all. God bless all through us, Hilda. So it's not just about just. It doesn't. The energy never stops at one person. It always is used to perpetuate more love and more blessings. There's that. This quote from the Bible that reminds me of you is, "He who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted." And that reminds me of you, is like you're being exalted in ways that other people they're jealous of. And that's because it's real. And they can't get to that realness within themselves and their perfect legs and their perfect bodies. So screw them. Have
Yeah.
compassion for them.
Well, listen, my friend, I appreciate this hour that we've spent together. Um, it has opened my eyes just because first of all, anybody who helps people, and look, we said it before, you do charge for your private readings, right?
Oh, yeah.
But anybody
Oh.
who will come on a podcast and just see somebody type in the comments, "Can you read me?" and you direct your attention to that person and say, "Is it okay if I read them?" That to me is a gift in itself. So kudos to you, my friend, for doing that. And I have this hour has opened my eyes to some things, and I'm going to try to focus on that. I am living my purpose, and that I am in some way, and I do see it in people private message me all the time with different things that I've encouraged them with, but it's hard sometimes to keep that in focus.
Okay, so here's the thing. I am going to help you, and I am going to help you stop wasting all the energy doubting that when you know you're right here with me, healer to healer, and you are doing the work. So stop wasting energy doubting yourself.
Right. Because there is a lot of self-doubt.
So do the energetic cleanse on my website on self-doubt.
I'm going to I will
No,
look that up. No, I'll look it up. I will look it up, and if I can't find it, I will message you and have you tell it to me in a message. But
well, maybe my friend Therese is on here. Maybe she could put a link to the SFT thing on the page.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll let you do it on this page, but you can send me the link, and I would definitely look at it, because there is many times where I am filled with self-doubt.
So do you want that one, or you seem to enjoy the peanut butter and jelly cleanse?
Well, I just enjoyed that one because I enjoyed the name of it.
Yeah, that's my mentality, like a 5-year-old.
I'm a fan of peanut butter and jelly, so
yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk.
Did you hear Hilda? She says, "Listen to her, Wheels."
Listen, Hilda, I'm listening. I am listening.
Hilda, you stay on him and make sure he does those taps.
I am listening because I am at times filled with some self-doubt. So I will
and Susan,
Susan, my mom, that's actually my mom, is saying,
"Hi, Susan." Oh, you have such a wonderful son.
Yes, you can add a link here. So if we want to add the link here, we can do that. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate this. It's been a blast.
It's great.
Listen, can I just say this? When we first started, when I first asked you to be on the podcast, you said to me, "No, you're not gonna rip on me and make fun of me." And what did I say to you, Jen? Why would I have you on the podcast if I'm going to do that?
Wow.
Was I fair?
You're very fair. You're very good at what you do. Yeah.
Thank you.
I can see why people love
you.
you.
Wanted to make sure that
you create a space of sincerity in a den of thieves. So it's like there's a sincerity that you bring to the airways that's missing. So you're raising the bar for all these shock jocks. So that's wonderful.
Well, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another edition of Wednesdays with Wheels. We will be back with you next Wednesday with another fantastic guest. Jen Ward, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Wednesdays with Wheels. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.